All right, welcome back, everybody. It's time for another episode of Health Talks with Dr. Trin. The one show, maybe the only show, to show you the path to a future, happier, healthier life. And today, well, we're talking the future is coming at you today here. We're going to talk about MDDAO, and we're going to talk about tokens, and they're going to explain all this to us, right, Dr. Trin?
I'm only good at prostate exams. So as a result of that, I brought in, you guys have already met Helene and Steve on OC Talk Radio before, the co-founders of MDDAO. And we'll let you know some exciting stuff coming, and an event next week that we wanted to invite folks to, which is Thursday, September 8th at noon. And we want to tell you why we're having that event. So take it away, guys.
Who gets to talk first? So let's just do Helene. She's good at explaining this stuff here. Well, give us a quick history of what MDDAO is for those that may have forgotten or didn't tune in before. This is an enterprise you guys created that does what?
So what we created is actually with the goal of doing a medical metaverse.
Right.
But in order to create a medical metaverse, which is a long-term project, think about it as if we would create a city, you need to plan it first.
Right.
So MDDAO is really there as a decentralized autonomous organizations. That's what DAO means, DAO. Mm-hmm. And that's a new sort of what we had in the physical world as a co-op is now a DAO on the blockchain. So it is a decentralized organization. MD stands for medical, obviously, or doctors.
Right.
So MDDAO is actually the project that we have launched first to be able to crowdsource the ideas, the voice of everybody, the consumers, the medical professionals, the professionals in wellness, and institutions to say, what is wrong and what's broken with the current healthcare systems?
Right.
If we had a blank slate, how could that look? Think about when we decentralized the apps for the smartphones, how everybody started to find solutions to everything. Wow.
Yeah,
we believe that if we crowdsource the information, the voice, and the solutions that are around, we can create a blueprint that would be translated into the metaverse as a medical metaverse. Now, the first step was the MDDAO, because the MDDAO is the platform in which the community will gather electronically, obviously, digitally, right, online, in apps like Discords. We have a website that is going to be launched on September 26th. And all of that is to be able to have a forum of people that can provide us with information, and they will have the right to vote. It belongs to them. No one, it's a community-owned, decentralized autonomous organization. So therefore, the decisions in the DAO are made by the people that are members of the DAO. So that was the first step.
So imagine if Facebook had set themselves up this way, where we all go and participate, and they create these forums and these places to share pictures and to stream live, and for us to gather as a community, right? Share information and talk to each other in real time here. But it's their company. And we go in, they let us join for free, and then they take all our data and sell that and mine it, and that's how they make billions and trillions of dollars off of this. But we don't have any say as to, a lot of controversy these days. Who gets in? How much do you monitor this stuff and everything, or do you monitor it all? Anybody can say any racist thing they want to say, or any inflammatory thing that leads to violence. No, maybe we should moderate and control some of this. Facebook's deciding that. The government's thinking of stepping in and imposing some rules on them if they can't figure it out better. But they, as a company, are doing this. The members themselves don't get to vote and say, here's how we want this to be handled. Here's what we'd like to do, much less the content and the stuff that's in there. Do they have, for a while they had podcasts. Now they've taken podcasts back out. I don't know why they put them in. I don't know why they took them out, but the members don't have any say about it. In a DAO, you're saying they would.
Yes, exactly. All decisions would be voted, right? Of course, we would have a sort of a filter to what do you expose the top five, for instance, the top five best solutions, or the top five problem that rose to the surface that you want to address, right? So then you are able to say, okay, these are the top five that constantly come back, or that really is a great solution. Let's see what the community votes on, and then you have a process of elimination.
I think it's the best analogy is a co-op. You know, there is somebody who kind of manages the co-op and determines the process for voting and what we're voting on and stuff. So maybe there's a little bit of a filter, but pretty much the members can bring anything up, and it's controlled by them. And they have somebody who manages it on their behalf and who monitors it and who measures it and whatever other administrative functions need to happen here. But the members ultimately get to decide. Even can the members vote you guys out? Or are you guys in for life here? Is this, I don't know. Can they take it over and take it in another whole direction? Who knows where this goes? I guess you're really opening yourself up because you're putting a lot of effort, time, energy, and money yourselves to creating this. And at some point, the members get some control over this. You give them control over what you've created.
Many companies would like that, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, I only bring that up because it's a really fascinating idea. People are talking about creating DAOs in the real world. You're one of those creating it in the metaverse, in the virtual world here. What's the advantage? We'll go back to Dr. Tang here. Why do this virtually? Is it just convenience?
I think it's convenience, really, and it allows us access to a larger geographic area. It's just like the metaverse also has the same sort of reach also. So you'll be able to have providers perhaps in like California providing care remotely. So that's the advantages of virtual.
And is this aimed at anybody, or is this will there be young kids and old adults and people of every ethnicity in this? I mean, is there any filter? Is it just whoever decides to join this can come in?
I think there's not going to be any
prerequisites.
Filters. There's going to be some filters for the professionals. So there'll be filters for the medical professionals as well as the allied or integrated medical professionals, just so we want to make sure they're vetted and they're who they are.
Yeah, you don't have quacks in here or people who have questionable records or whatever. They're under investigation by the some board of something here or whatever.
Yeah, we don't want someone who's like always doing like prostate exams all day long. So it's kind of like that. Okay?
So Dr. Trin's out.
It eliminates you, right?
Dr. Trin's
out.
He
doesn't do that all day. And for healthcare consumer, our goal is to create a big swath of what's representative of the American population. So across all demographics, economic as well as social and ethnic.
So there isn't any cost to admission, Dr. Trin? Anybody can sign up for this thing, whether you're, I don't have to pass a test. I don't have to meet a certain, criteria or something. I want in, I'm in.
For the public. There's a cost to membership in order to get the right to vote.
Okay.
With that. So it's a one-time membership that gives you a lot of different options and benefits depending on the membership levels and all that.
So it's like I always picture these condo projects in Manhattan. A lot of these buildings are condos. They're owned by the people. So you buy a condo in the building and then you get a vote in this condo association as to what happens with the building. But you got to have a room in the building. You got to buy into the building.
Yes. But we have levels, right? For instance, consumers we made it extremely low so that they can have access to it. We even have areas, if certain, if people live in certain postal codes, they would have it for free, because we want to make sure that we hear the voice of those that are living in underprivileged areas as well, because they're often the ones that are the most affected by the problems that we have in healthcare.
Yes.
And then we have the professional medical ones that is more expensive. And we have the wellness as well, which is, I would say, stands in the middle of it. And we also have premium. If someone wants to have a little bit more perks, they can have the premium version of it. But overall, there's 3 categories of membership plus 1 international one. And there's premium versions of these. But basically, there's no limit on whether you have zero income or you make billions.
Right.
There's room for you into the DAO.
So, Dr. Tang, let's talk about that. One of the problems with the current pay-for-service model, many problems we've talked about in this show, but one of them is it doesn't pay to be in rural areas. It doesn't pay to be in poor areas. It doesn't pay to be in third world countries. Medicine is for those who can pay for it, and therefore it's in urban areas, it's in higher income areas. And many, even in this country, for example, I was reading about the number of community hospitals that are closing in rural areas, Montana, Mississippi, someplace, because there's just that model economically doesn't work, and there's nobody willing to underwrite it to do it. So you're seeing hospitals close in things. I'm not saying that you can service people through a site like this, but maybe you can. Is this in any way a way to offset that? I guess what I'm getting at is, as medicine shrinks, as medicine is just about money, then it shrinks from those places that it can't make money. And is this some way at least to give those people a voice?
That's kind of like a loaded question, but
yeah, I'm sort of guiding you in a direction, I guess, here. I don't know. I mean, I hadn't thought about that. She's talking about you live in a certain zip code, and we'll give you a different price. Maybe it's free or something, or based on income or something, or based on international. These are places that are underserved medically.
No, absolutely. I think sadly, the American healthcare system is the way they're functioning is really not sustainable. So it is actually our time as medical professionals as well as consumers to sort of like reverse that paradigm and really think about how to deliver as well experience medical care. So our goal is to change the paradigm so that there's more preventative care, more universal care, and really put the patient at the center of the whole medical aspect. So our goal is to provide care that is more universal, whether or not, and it's sad that the rural, as well as not only the city too, because people have high deductible healthcare in the city, and it is a financial disincentive to actually see your doctor because you have to need a deductible beforehand. So I have patients actually who don't see us unless they have to. They have medical care and they have the commercial insurance, but they won't see us because it's too expensive. So there's a lot of barriers to care in the United States, not only in rural areas, but also in the cities. So we really have to sort of, as a community, think about how do we do this? It's not sustainable the way it is now. So how do we fix it? So our goal at MDDAO is to, first of all, gain insight and find out, as Helene said, what are the issues at hand? What are the shortcomings of the current system? But also find out, what are the benefits of the current system? What's working? That's what we should use. Right. And also, change the things that's not working. And most of the consumers, as well as the professionals, realize that the current system is not working. So let's fix it. But do we have the current stakeholders fix it? Or should there be a different group of people fixing it?
And that's the key behind this, Dr. Trin, because it seems like I get no say in this. I'm the consumer. I'm the one you're trying to serve, we the public. And yet we, the public, are just told this is the way it's going to be. We're not going to have a rural clinic anymore. Or, for example, here, we'll bring it back locally at Orange County. Big controversy when San Clemente shut down its community hospital. There is a hospital there that's sitting empty because the people who took it over, and I don't remember the group that took it over, decided it wasn't profitable enough. And the city has had numerous hearings saying maybe we take it over, maybe somebody else takes it over. And they can't find any takers. They can't figure out a perfectly good medical facility sits in this community, an affluent, upscale, aging community, but the numbers apparently just aren't there. And we just got something from the city the other day. They're trying to have some public hearings and some input, and they wanted us to promote this and talk about it because they're struggling. How do they serve the medical needs of their community without people having to drive 20 miles to a centralized hospital somewhere? Talk about that, Dr. Trinh. I mean, is how do we get the people involved? Is this it?
Public hearing was a good one.
Get them involved from the floor up, from the patients.
Because the city's struggling with this right now. I could show you the press releases they send me all the time. Please promote this. They created a little video about it and some other things. I think you can go to the city of San Clemente and find out about it. But they are struggling to get input and ideas. They have a desire. They might even have some money, but they don't know what to do. And so instead, they're bringing in high-powered consultants and medical groups, and everybody's crunching the numbers, and they shake their head and said, won't work. And the public's saying, what do you mean it won't work? It worked for so many years. Why can't it work again? There is a disconnect. There is the public is not being, they're having public hearings, but I suspect a handful of people show up, and when they do, they just scream. They don't have any solutions, and they're not being offered any alternatives.
So why don't take all the money they're giving to all these high-priced consultants and stakeholders, then maybe incentivize some consumers actually to attend the meeting.
Wow. Wouldn't that be something? Pay you to come or to participate in a board or something. Yeah.
And give you some perks to actually come and participate and give your opinion. We value your opinion, which maybe we should pay you to come to the meeting.
Yeah.
And talk about that, Dr. Trinh. Don't you guys, when you had the Arabian Prince on, the one of the founders of the rap group NWA, he's a participant in this thing somehow. He was all over this idea of gamification. Now, he was thinking at it as sort of incentivize you. Hey, you win tokens if you reach certain things. We're gonna sort of trick you. We're gonna sort of incentivize you. We're gonna give little carrots we're gonna turn this into a fun game to lose weight or to bring your cholesterol down or something else like that. Could that same gamification, or maybe it doesn't have to be a game, maybe it's just straight out, a paid advisory committee, but is that anything possible in your organization or any others where the people actually?
It's the whole point behind this MedV token.
Aha.
It's the token to provide rewards for healthy lifestyles and behavior. That's the MedV token that's on the title of our event today.
So tell me what a token is, Helene. I get it sort of, but I don't get it. I know it's Bitcoin and there's currencies out there that I can't physically hold, but I can somehow spend it. My little grandson goes on Roblox, and it's this metaverse of game players and games and worlds he can explore. And he pays real dollars to get virtual coins, or sometimes he can earn those virtual coins if he does this, and this. They give him some coins, and then he buys virtual goods with it. He buys a little hat. He buys a little dog that follows him around. It just blows my mind. I'm trying to wrap my head around this virtual world of exchange. So talk about that a little bit.
Well, the first thing is that it's unavoidable. I think cryptocurrency is becoming
the currency.
It's the e-currency is a train that it's not going to stop, right? Yeah. So it's it's getting accepted more and more and more, and people are getting a little bit more familiar with it. And I think that, we will be able to do a lot more education on this. But the idea is you can have a crypto token that ours is called MedV, and the MedV token is, think about it like when you have points rewards. You understand points reward?
We all get that, right?
You all get that.
I have airline rewards on my credit card, so after I do it, I get a free ticket at some point in time here. Right?
So let's swap the points for a moment and make it into a token.
Yeah.
So now suddenly you have a token. My token can be accepted as a currency, just like I take my points and I buy a plane ticket. I can actually buy services, and we already have like at least a dozen or 20 companies that will accept the MedV token as a currency. But I can also, if they don't accept it, today there are apps that actually convert your token and you change it into real dollars. Wow. Now, the beauty of the crypto token that we're talking about is that it is a digital currency.
Right.
So a digital currency that has utility, meaning we all have those smartphones, we all have those watches, the smartphones, remote patient monitoring of devices, and then we have, information that we can share on internet. Now, the goal of the reward program that was designed by Stephen here is to really incentivize people to have preventive activities for their own good, their own health. And they can earn tokens. Think about it now, back to the points. They can earn tokens for good behaviors. You walk your 10,000 steps a day, ching ching, the tokens you get rewarded. Right. You follow what the doctors have said. Your blood sugar is pretty stable. Everything that you do, and Stephen's going to talk more about this in a moment, but everything that you do then can make you earn rewards. Now, those rewards can be used eventually when we are completed with the metaverse into the services of the metaverse, can be used tomorrow to the partners, the vendors that said, yes, I will accept your MedV token, and can be also exchanged like a currency that would be exchanged on the market. So it has a lot of possibilities, utilities, and convertibilities. Does that make sense? Was that clear?
I think it does. So I think that's part of the problem that trips me up and many people my age up. You've now created a new term. I understood money. Then I understood credit and credit cards, which is a virtual system. Yeah. I hand you a piece of plastic and it deducts it from my account. And then I understood points and reward systems where I earned something, and it was kind of virtual. I never saw it. It sat out there and I could see it accumulating, and then I could turn that into something tangible at some point in time. A trip, a toaster, a something here, a movie pass or whatever here. And now the whole world has switched to tokens. Is it just the same idea? It's an account of value that you build up and can exchange.
Yes, it's a wallet, and Dr. Trin is really good at explaining that.
Okay, go
on the spot.
Token. Why we call it a token, and I'm like, what the hell am I going to do with? Sorry, what the hell am I going to do with the token? I'll say hell again.
Oh yeah. Would you like to see what the token looks like?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me look for it here.
Let me ask you a question also before he pops that up. That when you have those rewards for your credit card, did it change your behavior a little bit? Did you use that credit card a little bit more than the other credit cards?
I did, and I'll give you a perfect example. The other day, I have one of these airline cards. There's the token.
There it is.
That's what it looks like on the phone. There it is.
Yes, it is. Yep. You can almost touch it like it has value here.
Right. It looks like a coin, so I can perceive it. It doesn't look like broccoli or a rabbit or something. It looks like coins. No. Yeah, right.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So your question is, did it change it? The other day, I have a JetBlue credit card for JetBlue. I also have them for Alaska Airlines. And one of them, JetBlue, is signed up with restaurants. So one of them, they said, hey, this month, you get twice as many points if you go to these restaurants. And I quickly looked up, because always looking for a restaurant to go to. I have a choice which restaurant to choose. And there was a restaurant nearby, a Thai restaurant, that I didn't know was in their program, and I went out to that restaurant. I was going to go to a restaurant anyway. They said, if you go to this one, you get twice as many points. I went there. It altered my behavior.
And imagine now, if you would have walked there, you could have earned some MedV token.
Yeah,
sure. So not only did you earn something that's tangible, but also that vendor earned marketing foot traffic.
Amen. Because I hadn't gone to that restaurant, quite frankly, in a long time. And
So
so
that's
I
kind of like
probably
our
would have
vision.
gone somewhere else nearby. It was a little out of my normal foot or travel path. We like the restaurant, but I just, because it's not sort of down the street or in my normal route, I end up going to these same restaurants that I'm used to. I changed my behavior and went to one that I like, and thought about it again and went there simply to earn some magical extra points towards something, a trip probably.
Yeah. And that restaurant accepted your token or accepted your points also as a marketing tool for them. So
Yeah.
it's a win-win for everybody.
It really is. So I think if you think of it as points and get out of this term token, because that's what we're all looking at cryptocurrencies, and they've shot up to 90,000 and now they're down to 20,000. Here we're doing this in the middle of September in 2022. You'll listen to this 2 years later and say it was down to 20,000. It's 20 million again or something. I don't know. Or it's down to 20 cents. I don't know. But whatever it is, these things fluctuate wildly in value. Will the tokens that you establish, the points don't wildly thing. It's pretty much, I know how many points I got to earn to get a ticket on an airline, or to get a toaster, or to get a movie pass. It doesn't go way up or way down. But currencies themselves fluctuate wildly in value because people are speculating and they're bidding on them. So the speculation drives them up, the speculation drives them down. Is this a speculative currency, this token, or is this a, you kind of establish value for it up front, and then I can aspire, if I only walk 20 more times and got 20 more points, I could get what I'm looking for.
So yes and yes and yes, but let me check.
Okay.
Let me start by saying there's a bit of a difference between a token and a coin, right? So
Right.
a token is both a coin and a token, I would say, but a real coin would be 100% a currency. So then
Right.
it falls into all of the rules and regulations of a currency, just like a bank would have. A token usually is linked to utility. So that means just like a reward programs, it can be
Right.
both transacted and it can be converted, but it is a utility coin where you have, like reward programs that is, and it also easy to exchange and bridge between the, I would say the digital world and the physical world. But it's still a market that the coin is listed. And that's where the terms ICO that we talked about at the beginning comes from, is that it means initial coin offering. So an initial coin offering is the digital blockchain term, I would say, to the introduction of a token or a coin to the market. Once the steps are done, you must have like the white paper to support your case. You, of course, have also a pool of money that supports this. And then you can also release the coins in, I would say, in not in sections, but in certain quantities. You pace the release of it so that there's not too much fluctuation that happens at the beginning, what we call, buy and dump. People buy a lot and then dump it and make money and leave. So when you are responsible people, which we are, you try to do it in a way that's going to sustain it. Now, there's a limited quantity of coins available, of tokens available. And so to make sure that the message was clear that everybody should have access to healthcare, we're releasing 7.9 billion tokens that will be on the market for life. And that represents the population of the world. So that it's to say that every single person should be able to have and earn a token. And that token can transform their lives by being able to have access to services, maybe not a physical MRI, but at least a lot of services that they can be.
A seminar. What kind of services are we talking about initially?
Telemedicine, a telemedicine exam with a doctor. Like Dr. Trin said so many times, 75% of things can be didiagnosed without even having his digital
finger on the pulse, as he likes to say here. Yeah.
75% can be diagnosed that way. It could be filtering, guiding people, educating them they're monitoring them as well, because today there's so many technologies that can remotely monitor, and I can send you a kit at home. You're going to take your own blood pressure and you're going to say, so it's like a visit to the doctor, but it's just done in a virtual way. So there's so many ways that we could do that now in the virtual world. Of course, when it's time to take a pill and be in a physical world for an exam, a CT scan or things like that, this is going to happen in a facility somewhere in near you. But a lot of it can be filtered first, and a lot of it can be educated first. And a lot of it, we believe that with the tokens, we can help people change habits. Most of the problems on the planet right now is about bad habits and pollution, yes, bad habits and genetic, sure. That gets deformed over time. But the reality is, if you just eliminate bad behaviors, how many people would be healthier, right?
And unfortunately, you got to incentivize them. It isn't just scaring them. You need to eat more vegetables. Yeah. You need to walk more. You need to do this. Yeah. I've heard that my whole life. Okay, Mom. Okay, Dad. One of these days I'll do it. I'll lose weight. I'll do all these things. But suddenly you give them an incentive to do it. And suddenly, as Dr. Tang alluded to, I change my behavior. Ooh, it's a little reward for doing something I should be doing. So you're tricking us into doing what we should do anyway.
We're trying to make it fun also. So we're trying to make it fun and engaging, and we want to find ways to change lifestyles. So it's a lot easier to change a behavior before it starts than to change a behavior that's set in.
Right.
So if we can sort of redirect the flow so it's more preventative, and really address it from a pediatric or even a young person sort of younger generation sort
get
of.
Get them early.
Get them early, prevent it, make it fun. Like most time, like medicine's not fun. Okay, let's face it. For
Come
most part,
on, it's fun on this show. We make
maybe
it fun.
Maybe Dr. Trin, it's fun, but like for myself, it's probably not. It's not fun. Okay, but how can we change that narrative so we can make it fun, more acceptable, more hip, more insightful. So how can we change
something
that?
I want to do, not something just I need to do. Everybody's always telling me what I need to do. I only do things that I want to do. And I don't want to eat that food. I don't want to do that. I don't want to. So we're all 5-year-old and we have to say, oh, come on, this will be fun. It'll be an airplane. You're going to eat the vegetables. Just like you do with a little kid. You got to trick people and stuff. I'll tell you another way to trick them, and I'm sure you're going to do this, is what your other partner, Arabian Prince, talks about. Make it a competition. Isn't that kind of what Peloton and places like that have done? Ooh, look at me. I'm in the top 20%. If I only pushed a little harder, I suddenly feel good about myself. I'm a winner. Yeah, we're really winning because we're making you do something you should have done. You're not just doing it for the token. You're doing it for the prize. I'm number one. Yeah.
So that's the gamification of healthcare. So that's what we're trying to change, that little narrative, so it makes it fun, more gamified, more engaging. So
let me see if I can summarize this as we come to the end, because I know Dr. Trin's got a hard stop here, and we had a little trouble getting on this morning, my fault. But one, you've created this DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. This isn't just another group you're doing and you're asking everybody to buy into your program. You run it. You decide what's in, what's out. They just, as long as they like it, they'll pay for it. You're attracting them with that, but there's an extra attraction that they get some say in the future of the community. Let's do more of this. Let's do less of this. Let's do more gamification. Let's do less gamification. Let's do more this kind of education. Let's do more of this kind of interaction or services. They get some say in where this whole thing goes. So that's an appealing part. And then the second thing is, if you join this organization and buy into the building and become part of the co-op, you get some rewards and benefits out of it, not just the access to these people, but some access to build up some points that you can redeem for services. And you get this coin. It's more than a reward. It has some sort of intrinsic value over time, not a tangible value, but maybe something you can turn into real cash. Take this coin and turn it into. Did I get that correct, Helene? You get a say, you get some incentives, and you get access to some sort of digital currency that maybe can exist outside of the platform.
Yeah, so the initial coin offering has a set price of what the coin is worth, and right now it's worth 0.00025 something cent. So it's very low. So people that buy into on September 8, people that go into and buy into the coin, well, after that, it's the market, right? So it's the market that will decide on, is it valuable? So then the currency or the token, it just goes up in its value. So your little $100 can suddenly grow.
Like
now I can have
Bitcoin
way more
or
services.
Yeah, Ethereum or all these others of Bitcoin, they are a currency, and then people speculate on that as more and more people want, because there's a limit. That's the power of Bitcoin. The government can, the dollars, they can change it tomorrow. They have changed it because they just print more.
Yeah.
Or they release more through credit and through other sorts of things. They artificially flood the market through deficit spending. We're just going to go buy a bunch of stuff, even though we don't have the money for it. And therefore the government's giving you an IOU that everybody translates. And we artificially put money in, but a Bitcoin, the bit world, as I understand it, here's the stock we're offering, and there ain't no more. Now we can split it, we can do other things over time, but we ain't minting any more of that money. That's all there is. So it's a limited tangible value that as demand goes up for that currency, whoever's holding it can then trade it speculatively. It's worth something, it goes up.
And sorry, Steve, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. I was going to say that our coin is deflationary as well. So every time there's a buy-sell portion of that, those tokens are going to be burned, gone away. And then the difference between, in my opinion, I understand what you're saying about like the fluctuation of the tokens and everything like that.
Right.
But I think really the key difference between our token and say another token is that there's some real life utility.
Yes.
And then our target market is not just like a small little portion of population that does some sort of tech thing, but it's actually it's basically the whole population. Right. And the value added proposition for our project is that we have Dr. Trin, we have Helene, we have Arabian Prince, and then we have all this big, huge, robust panel of advisors from all different walks of industry, from entertainment to crypto to medicine, and they're guiding us. They're creating these opportunities for innovation, for incredible ideas to sort of flourish in our ecosystem. So,
yeah, there's a there with Ethereum and Bitcoin. There is no there. It's a speculative currency that people has a limited quantity and it goes up or down. And there's a limited number of places that will accept that. And I don't think people are even using it for transactions. They're just using it for speculation right now. Yeah. But the theory was supposed to be, it was a digital currency wasn't just supposed to be a speculative, there's only so much of it and everybody wants it and it goes up or down in value depending. It was eventually supposed to be a currency, and maybe will be it someday, that you actually go to a hotel or something and you, instead of giving them your credit card or a tangible dollar, you buy it in Bitcoins or something here. Your coin has some tangible marketplace where you can purchase stuff for it that will be baked into this. It's your coin that's spendable in your universe, right?
Yeah. And it's growing. And then imagine like the healthcare, and it's also scalable. So like different healthcare organizations can then assign different values to the token. So they say maybe for a well visit, you get 10 tokens, okay? But the marketplace will dictate that also. So if the token kind of rises, then maybe that 10 token now worth like 10 cents might be worth more in the future, or might be worth less. That's kind of like how that goes.
So there is the potential for this for it to be a currency that fluctuates in value, that goes up or down. But there is, regardless of that, it is like a reward program. You earn tokens and you can redeem it for services, and that's pretty stable. And they're always adding new services and new things to it, new programs. And maybe it's also a game where it's like fun and I win points and I beat people and I'm the champion for today. I walked more than anybody else in my neighborhood did. This is mind-blowing. You're incentivizing people by giving them a say in what you're doing. You're incentivizing them in giving them a coin. You're incentivizing them in giving them a reward program. You're incentivizing and maybe turning it into a game. It's all, any and all of that. It's amazing. When is the launch? And then we'll let you go. I know Dr. Trin had to already go. When's the launch?
So it is September 8th, and it's going to be both physical and virtual. So we're packing up September 8th quite a lot because, in the last, in June, we did the virtual health and technology summit when we had a lot of medical, speakers and crypto speakers. Now we're going to do that event again live in LA. And we're going to also team up with 247 Health Club, which is at 2995 Glendale Boulevard in Los Angeles. And they are organizing a big event as well that starts early, like in the morning. We even have like global renowned people such as Stéphane Legris, who is a guru of fitness that has over 500 fitness clubs in 30 countries. That he is also the fitness master of Meghan Markle and Nicole Kidman and Britney Spears and so many.
I want to be in that club.
He's going to be there. He's going to give a lesson at 11 o'clock, so people can register and get that lesson. And he's going to speak at our event as well, and will be there to sign autographs. Many other celebrities are going to be there. People are invited to come live at the 247 Health Club. But we are, and we have some of our really renowned advisors, business advisors, medical advisors, all of that will all be together over there. And we're streaming live on View Subs. So the ICO, the initial coin offering, will happen also live at the event and online streaming live. So it's going to be an amazingly packed day. And look at our social media at, it's MDDAO. So MDDAO.
All one word, MDDAO.
All in one word, MV at the end. And when you go on LinkedIn, you go on Facebook, we are announcing there everywhere. So
because there is no site yet for this. That's coming in September right now. So right now you're reaching out to your communities through social media and the accounts you
social media, emails, and
things like this.
Later on this afternoon, we will open the first few landing pages that are for people to start preparing their profile to purchase the tokens in ICO on September 8th. There's a step to do before, and they can pre-verify their identity before, so that they then on the day of September 8th they will be able to actually buy right away and not get into the crowded time where everybody's going to want to. And pre-ICO, so the good news is the pre-ICO, meaning you always have like this initial pre-ICO that is just
like
for
a pre-IPO for a stock offering.
Exactly. This is the same. We sold out in 5 days in pre-ICO, and that was a day before the deadline. So that was good news. So we expect to have a good turnout for the ICO.
All right. So this is all day. Things go on. I can go.
All day.
I can go up to Glendale and sit there in real life and watch these people and watch the live stream happen, and I can sit there in the
interviews, and there's going to be interviews, podcasts, activities.
Yeah.
You're going to have access to
giveaway stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or
opportunity.
And when does that start? And when does that go through? If I want to go really drive up to Glendale and be there, that's a 24/7 Health Club, but where? When does that start?
247. Yeah, it's 247 Health Club, 2995 Glendale Boulevard in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And
but
and
that
you
starts
can
when? When does
you can start as early at 9 o'clock if you want. The class with Stéphane Legris is going to be at 11. At 12 is when we start our MDDAO summit.
Right.
At 12:20 is when we do the ICO launch of the token. And then it's just one speaker after the other, and podcasts, and that's going to be
throughout
live
the afternoon, right?
You should come, Paul. You're gonna have fun.
I gotta figure out a way to be there. We do a live show at noon on Thursdays, so it's a problem for me to get away or get up there. But maybe there's someone. We'll talk offline about some other ways we can help promote this.
All day till 5 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do something from there in the afternoon, afterwards or something, maybe like at 1 o'clock or something. How's it going? We'll live stream this tomorrow. We'll think about that. We'll talk about it. It's an exciting idea. It's one I still struggle to wrap my head around, but I think I understand it better today than I did before. People can join a decentralized autonomous organization that's aimed towards health, towards revolutionizing the healthcare industry. They can have real say in it. They can have a vote in how this thing turns out and this metaverse unfolds, and what services are there, what kinds of programs are set up. They get a say in it. They don't just get to participate in it, they get a say in it. And along the way, they can earn tokens, which have some intrinsic value in the community for tangible services and things. It's also perhaps a currency that has some speculative rise over time if the demand is there, because there's only so many of these things that are going to be made or sold. So get your tokens early, join the community today, and join them next Thursday, September 8th, in person or online, for the launch of what could be a really, really revolutionary approach to medicine. You've always complained you didn't have anything to say about it. Now you do. Don't complain. Join. Do something. And find out more. Thank you so much for coming on here.
MDDAO.com.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll talk more, and I'm sure we'll have some connection with you on next Thursday. All right. That's going to wrap it up, folks. I think there's only so much of this we can wrap our heads around in one day. There's a lot here to break down. But if it intrigued you, go find out more. MDDAO, MDDAO. And find out what they're doing to launch this whole thing next Thursday, September 8th. In person, online, you can be there. MDDAO. From all of us here at OC Talk Radio, streaming live from our studios at the University of California, Irvine's Beale Applied Innovation Center, I'm Paul Roberts, saying stay tuned for more.